You weren't just marrying a family, you were marrying a 1,200-year-old institution. You're marrying the monarchy. What did you think it was going to be like?
I will say I went into it naively because I didn't grow up knowing much about the royal family. It wasn't something that was part of conversation at home. It wasn't something that we followed. My mom even said to me a couple months ago, she said, did Diana ever do an interview?
But you were certainly
No.
aware
Yeah.
of the royals.
Of course.
And if you're going to marry a royal, then you would do research about what that would mean.
Well, I didn't do any research about what that would mean.
You didn't do any research?
No. I've never looked up my husband online. I just didn't feel a need to because everything that I needed to know he was sharing with me, right? Or everything that we thought I needed to know he was telling me. 3 days before our wedding, we got married.
Ah.
No one knows that, but we called the Archbishop and we just said, look, this thing, this spectacle is for the world, but we want our union between us. So like the vows that we have framed in our room are just the two of us in our backyard with the Archbishop of Canterbury, and that was the piece that...
Just the three of us.
Just the,
Yeah, that's the three of us.
just the three of us.
There was also a story, did you hear this one, about you making Kate Middleton cry?
The narrative with Kate, which didn't happen, was really, really difficult and something that I think that's when everything changed, really.
Did you make Kate cry?
No.
So where did that come from? Was there a situation where she might have cried or she could have cried?
No, the reverse happened. It was a really hard week of the wedding, and she was upset about something, but she owned it, and she apologized, and she brought me flowers and a note apologizing, and she did what I would do if I knew that I hurt someone. What was hard to get over was being blamed for something that not only I didn't do, but that happened to me, and the people who were part of our wedding going to our comms team and saying, I know this didn't happen. I don't have to tell them what actually happened,
Okay.
but I can at least go on the record and say, she didn't make her cry, and they were all told to say.
So all the time the story's out there, you had made Kate cry. You knew all along, and people around you knew that that wasn't true.
Everyone in the institution knew it wasn't
So
true.
why didn't somebody just say that?
It's a good question. It was only once we were married and everything started to really worsen that I came to understand that not only was I not being protected, but that they were willing to lie to protect other members of the family, but they weren't willing to tell the truth to protect me and my husband.
It sounds like you were in some kind of mental trouble. What was actually going on? Almost unsurvivable. Sounds like there was a breaking point.
Yeah, there was. I just didn't see a solution. Look, I was really ashamed to say it at the time, and ashamed to have to admit it to Harry, especially, because I know how much loss he's suffered. But I knew that if I didn't say it, that I would do it, and I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And that was a very clear and real and frightening, constant thought. You know, we knew I was pregnant. We now know it's Archie, and that it was a boy. We didn't know any of that at the time. And that was when they were saying they didn't want him to be a prince or a princess, not knowing what the gender would be, which would be different from protocol, and that he wasn't going to receive security.
What? Your son, the grandson, the great-grandson of the Queen, is not going to have, he wasn't going to be a prince. How did they tell you that? And what reasons did they give? And then say, and so therefore you don't need protection.
There's no explanation. Even with that convention I'm talking about, while I was pregnant, they said they want to change the convention for Archie. Well, why?
Did you get an answer?
No.
You still don't have an answer?
No.
You know, we had heard, the world, those of us out here reading the things or hearing the things, that it was you and Harry who didn't want Archie to have a prince title. So you're telling me that is not true?
No, and it's not our decision to make.
Do you think it's because of his race? And I know that's a loaded question, but...
but I can give you an honest answer. In those months when I was pregnant, all around this same time, so we have in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
The media reported that you had blindsided the Queen, your grandmother. So here's a time to set the record straight. What was the tipping point that made you decide you had to leave?
Yeah, I was desperate. I went to all the places which I thought I should go to ask for help. We both did, separately and together.
So you left because you were asking for help and couldn't get it?
Yeah, basically. My biggest concern was history repeating itself. And I've said that before. We've all been through it.
We've all been through the pressure. We've all been through being
Yes, but what was different
exploited.
What was different for me was the race element. Because now it wasn't just about her, but it was about what she represents. And therefore it wasn't just affecting my wife, it was affecting so many other people as well. That was right at the beginning, right?
Like, what will the baby look like?
Yeah, what will the kids look like?
Yeah, what will the kids look like?
But that was right at the beginning when she wasn't going to get security, when members of my family were suggesting that she carries on acting because there's not enough money to pay for her and all this sort of stuff. Like, there was some real obvious signs before we even got married that this was going to be really hard.
So in conclusion, if you'd had the support, you'd still be there.
Without question.
Yeah.
I'm sad that what's happened has happened, but I know and I'm comfortable knowing that we did everything that we could to make it work.
Your exit agreement with the royal family, that is coming up at the end of this month.
The decision is, I think that, the decision that, as of last week or whatever it was, is that they will be removing everything.
Are you hurt by that decision?
I am hurt, but at the same time, I completely respect my grandmother's decision.
Any regrets?
No, I think I'm really proud of us. We did what we had to do. And now we've got another little one on the way.
I have one. My regret is believing them when they said I would be protected. I think had I really seen that that wasn't happening, I would have been able to do more. But I think I wasn't supposed to see it. I wasn't supposed to know. And now, because we're actually on the other side, we've actually not just survived, but are thriving. You know, just miracles. I think that all of those things that I was hoping for have happened.
So your story with the prince does have a happy ending.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.